Okay, all right, we are recording, and this is for our peer reviews of the OMA Task 1. Okay. And I went ahead and I did my peer reviews for Anne and Dakota. I think based on what everybody else was doing, I think those were the two that were left.
Okay, I have not in my peer reviews yet. I just finished my Task 1 last night.
Okay, did you get a chance to look at anyone else's?
I just glanced over, I glanced over everyone, in our group. And it was just a glance.
Okay.
But yours look pretty good. And Paula's, Dakota, I think yours and mine kind of look a little bit alike.
I know mine needs.
It was a rough draft.
Well, my problem with mine is that a lot of the data and stuff I need is I don't have access to right now because I'm on maternity leave.
Oh, I know. This has been a rough semester for me. But yeah, I posted mine last night. Yeah. But I haven't been able to do, because I think I said I was going to do yours and Stephanie's, I believe. So I'm going to try to look at least one of them tonight.
Whose was Paula doing?
I don't know. Let me see if she had sent a message. Let's see.
Well, I think
I'm sorry. Paula said she was going to do Stephanie's and Dakota.
Okay, so then I needed to do Anne and Stephanie, I guess.
Okay. So I think most of you probably got some feedback from Dr. Lamb. I think he was really good with including what was kind of missing from your papers. I'm pretty sure you're aware of that too. I think everyone's off to a really good start. With Anne, one of the things I noticed is that along with the data, that demographic information she was given about her students, you would want to include how that compares to that state and national context. And then go ahead and include information about the staff too.
Hold on. If y'all excuse me 1 second, it was text. Hold 1 second. Okay, let me get you that code right quick. Hold on. Excuse me, ladies. It's 794-269-415. Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Sorry, something happened with her phone. Oh, I just want to say, I'm doing Paula's and Stephanie's. I'm sorry, Paula and Stephanie's.
So I need to do Anne and Paula.
Yeah, the same as me, I assume. So I think, Anne, when you walked away, I was kind of talking about, I think Dr. Lamb has given us some good pointers on the other things that we need to include and address in the narrative. And I know that you've had a good start with the information regarding your student population. You might want to go ahead and just make sure you add that how that information compares to other schools in that district.
Okay.
And then the national level. I think that's like the biggest thing we want to look at. And then get some information on your staff. Most of us, how we did that, we looked at how many years of experience each of the staff members had and kind of categorize that and maybe see if anybody's nationally board certified and so forth.
And all the information is in your school report card. It has like a chart that tells you.
And that's exactly what I went ahead and put as one of my graphic representations is exactly that, the school report card. And I think I looked at 2 other schools within our district to see how we compare. And then the only other thing I think Ann and Dakota just need to add would be the information of like how your school is run. You know, like so I think somebody included how many principals and assistant principals you had. I think that was Ann. And it's kind of like the regulations and policies of the school and its structure. And then talk about how the budgeting, which was the toughest part for me, the school budget, because in my school, it's not available. You know, it should be right there open for everybody to see, but it's not like that in my school. And really, the school improvement team doesn't do anything with that. Like it's suggesting, I think, in the prompt.
Okay. Thank you for the feedback.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. My phone's not working. I didn't get the text.
We were just, I just went ahead and discussed my feedback for Ann and Dakota regarding task 1.
Right, okay.
So anybody else that wants to go ahead and information?
I did, I think I already did Dakota's, and I know you weren't finished. So, I mean, I could tell you weren't finished. So, I just went ahead and put on the peer review, the things that needed to be added. But what you have so far is really good and it's on point. It's just those missing pieces. Even I had a missing piece, and Dr. Lamb told me to go back and add about EC and 504, you know, those different categories. So I need to do that as well. But you had a good start, and you were just missing those pieces. And I have your peer review already done. I just wasn't sure where to post it.
Okay.
And I think Dakota did a really good job with the analysis. I don't know if you look at what she did was when she was talking about the school population, how it's much larger than the average. So maybe that has a lot to do with some of the programs that are happening at that school, and maybe even some of the budgeting. Be interesting to see what's kind of found out about that.
I think it's really funny that when you're in these classes and you start digging, then you find out the things that are not going on at your school that should be. For instance, that emergency plan box that has not been updated at my school this year. We have lots of new teachers, lots of teachers that left. And it's like, what if there was a true emergency and it's not done? So I think even with this, like you said, Stephanie, that your leadership team is not in on the budget. Where at my school, we sit down and talk about, okay, are we going to get this technology? Are we going to get that? Are we going to order these books or that book? So every school is just so different. And you find out lots of things when you start asking questions.
I almost feel like some of this stuff should be discussed at the beginning of the year meeting. You know, it's kind of repetitious for people that have been there, but then I think about the 1 or 2 new people that we get it each year. It seems like that, you know, I've been there 4 years and I never knew anything about an emergency binder.
Right, because I definitely didn't know where they were located. And there's one in the AP's office and there's one in the library. Nobody knows that but the AP and the librarian. So.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I had the same problem with the emergency plan. I talked to my principal about it, and he said, you know, I let this certain AP take that over this year. Talk to her. She can give it to you. I get in contact with the AP, and it turns out the AP hasn't done it, which the principal didn't know. And it's like, so do I tell him? Do I not? I didn't. I figured. She said she was going to do it that weekend and email it to me. She never did. But I was like, well, wow, you know, we had already started the school year at this point, and this wasn't in place, especially because I know that the principal had mentioned that several other people in the plan had to change because we have such high turnover every year. So we had no emergency plan, is from my understanding. And I was like, wow, like, how did that fall through the cracks?
Because emergencies don't happen. And so it just.
Right. Until they happen.
Mhm.
They don't happen until they happen.
Exactly. And then when they do happen and you didn't have what you were supposed to have, it's a big thing.
Mhm.
So
I'm going to have to do a lot of digging. I'm at a new school, and it's nothing like my old school. I mean, they're like, you dot every I and cross every T. And it's not really easy to get your hands on items that you need. So I'm going to have a lot of digging to do. A lot of digging.
And are they still receptive of you being an intern now?
Yes, I can do an internship, but they're very, very touchy. Very touchy.
Okay.
So this is good. So it's a little difficult. They're just different.
Yeah.
Almost like business. Everything is like business, business, business.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some digging I'm going to have to do, a lot of it.
Well, that's got to be hard to come into a new school and, you know, your part of your internship is kind of analyzing what they're not doing right. And to have to come into a new school and do that kind of thing is going to be challenging.
It's going to be a little challenging. I mean, they're very good people. They're professional. But again, as I say, they want to dot every I and cross every T. So so it's a lot of leg work. You know, unlike at my last school, it's kind of like a walk in the park, but this is a little different now.
Yeah. Well, I've been at mine for 4 years, and it's a small school. If you looked at the number of students we have, this has actually been the largest population of students we've had in a while. But even being a small school, they're not out as receptive of me trying to get information all the time.
And this school, well, it's larger than the school because we're looking at almost close to 1,200 students.
That's big. Yeah.
We're looking close. Yeah, we have a lot of students, so it's a lot. And it's different, but I have my work cut out.
Yeah. But I think I mean, there's plenty of things. I think even with the draft that I did, I really want to go back and revise a bit more now that I've looked at some other people's work. Kind of like, oh, I kind of like how they did that. So I want to go back and change some things. And a couple people actually did introductions, and I didn't do one. I think Anne did one. And I like that. Yeah, I like the introduction. So I think I want to go back and include one of those. And
I mean, like with mine, I know that it's not anywhere near my normal quality of work. I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of revising when I get back to work. So
I honestly, Dakota, I think what you've done was very clear and well organized. It just was missing those parts that you're aware already that were missing.
It's just going to be a matter. I'm going to have a lot to go back and fix, but I had to do the best I could with what I had access to.
Yeah.
It's harder for people to blow you off as far as getting information when you're standing in their office than it is when you're texting them or emailing them.
Well, even when you stand in their office, they'll blow you off too. A couple times. You never know when the right time is. You send emails and then you follow up your email with kind of a walk-in and you're like, hey, remember I asked for this? Can I just get it now? You know, I feel like I'm being pushy, but that's how I'm having to be at this point where I don't ask anymore. I just step up and do things because I'm not getting opportunities any other way.
Right. And see, with my internship, I had to scale it down because when I mentioned my internship, it was like, well, you can't get paid. And I'm like, you're kidding me? So I had to scale back and do things within the school because they kind of wanted to go out to different schools. And I told them that wasn't what my internship entailed. It's just things on the campus while I'm working.
As a teacher, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And so Virginia doesn't have that it was only North Carolina that allowed that?
Well, Virginia, well, the school that I'm at, like I said, the administration, they're great. So they said, okay, you can shadow us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm being able to shadow them. But I think the problem that I'm running into is everything is North Carolina and I'm in Virginia.
Yeah.
And I have to let Dr. Lamb know. So I have to do extra work. So, but I'm sure it'll work out as always. But it's just really tough this semester.
Yeah, it will work out though. It will work out. Like I always say, everyone, these little rough little bumps, and we'll get through it.
Oh yeah, we will.
Because that's how this task, I didn't think I could get through it, honestly, because I just felt like I was more focused on my classroom and my students, because you're starting off with them and you're getting used to them and you're trying to analyze them and adjust your lessons, even though you've done them before, and kind of neglecting my schoolwork. So
I think the timing of the start of the semester was horrible, because the first day of school with Gardner Webb was also the first day of school for me. So everything's kind of been very tight. And for me, we have another interim principal, not the same interim principal. So we kind of got like a swinging door right now. So it's kind of hard to get what you need. So
our superintendent in our county got fired. We have an interim superintendent.
Well, our superintendent retired on Friday.
Oh, so I'm thinking, how am I going to get a job next year?
Well, I think I think we're all kind of struggling a little bit, but we always, make it through to the end. It starts off a little rough, but yeah, this is tough. This is really tough. Yeah. Getting used to all the new people and the way they do it there. And this is just not a little school. You're dealing with a lot of people. So, and I'm still learning the teachers that I'm working with.
Yeah, and then how they get offended or defensive because you're trying to learn these new things and be an intern. And it's like, I'm not trying to step on your toes here. I'm just
trying to get my grade.
I'm just learning.
Yes. So, but I know I have a lot of work I need to go back and do with task 1. And Stephanie, thank you for that feedback, because that was very helpful.
Yeah.
Where do we post our peer review?
I think you go into assignments. Some kind of on the left-hand side, there's assignment Dropbox, I think it's called. And that's okay. But you'll have to wait until I give you the link, because the link is going to go on that worksheet.
Right. So we put the link on the peer review sheet and post it under assignment.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess I can do my feedback real quick. So I guess I did Ann and Paula. I'm guessing that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't know.
Yes. So I'm going to try to get you all finished. So.
I mean, I don't have the paper form done or the document done, and I can't tell you when it will be, but. So Paula, from what I'm looking at yours, I think most of the, I'm not going to say all because I don't want to back myself into a corner, but most of the required information is there. I think the only things you would want to look at would be kind of formatting, because I'm seeing some places where things are double spaced and some places where they're not.
Yes.
And some places where the font and stuff is different. So those would be the things that I would look at for you, would be making it more, I don't know the word.
Making it look better.
Yeah, fixing the formatting and all that stuff. And then with Ann, pretty much just the same thing. I would just look at that formatting piece and the just double checking with that kind of stuff. I don't want to say you have everything you're supposed to have, because I don't want to back myself into a corner. I'll put, if I find anything that's missing, I'll put it in the actual paper document thing when I get there.
Okay. Okay. So,
Stephanie, I'm still working on yours. Struggle.
yeah.
Night.
Yes. God, it's like, oh.
Okay, do we have any other comments or suggestions?
No, I don't.
Well, I'm going to head on to task 2, and then I'll just wait for your feedback. It didn't leave a place for us to put our peer reviews. You just want me to put your peer reviews under your OMA that you
Say that again,
you
Stephanie.
want me to put your peer reviews in the discussion board under your OMA, or do you want me to send them privately through email?
That's what I was asking. Where do we post them?
Well, for our grade, we post them in the assignment Dropbox.
Oh, okay.
There
But
isn't a place. Yeah, there isn't a place, and I don't know if you want people to look at your review, because I kind of like them private, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We can just email them. Yeah,
Okay.
we can email each other.
Okay, I'll just send them through the Gardner Web email.
So y'all, please just bear with me. I know I was behind on the OMA and everything, but I'm doing the best I can.
You just take care.
Don't feel bad. I am behind, but I'm trying to catch up.
It's just really hard because like I said, he's not feeling well, and then like I said, his dad is working 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. now every night, and so the only babysitter I have is my mama, and she works till 5 every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I really have like a 2-hour window every day where I have help, and that's shower and eat time.
Yeah.
For me.
Maybe even take a nap or something, right?
Yeah, so I had to, Friday morning I had to make his dad get up and sit with him while I wrote that. And and that wasn't good for him because he had gotten home from work at 8 o'clock that morning and had to be back at work at 8 o'clock that night. And it just wasn't, it wasn't fair to him, but I had to get him up.
Well, yeah, well, we will catch up. I think we do this every semester where we struggle, but then we will come back and
you are strong, and Paula, you are too, because I could never do it being a mother of these youngins and work and go through all this. Both you girls are strong. So.
I know. I don't even have any kids that I'm pulling my hair out.
Oh man, it gets busy. Let me just tell you, and I do get tired, but you do it for them. So,
well, I think the baby has a sixth sense, though. I think he knows if I'm trying to do something that doesn't pertain to him, because he immediately wakes up. If he's asleep and I pull out a laptop or try to do anything that is not like washing bottles or something that's for him, laundry or something that's for him, he wakes up.